Absolutely. 2-1 last year in the 3 starts and did not give up a home run. So that can play a factor, especially with these fences being brought in. And we'll get into that a little bit during the game.
All right, so it is the first of this 3-game series. A beautiful day for baseball up here in New York. It's the Phils and the New York Mets. One guy who hopes that maybe a visit to Citi Field will get him going offensively is Chase Utley. We'll get to the lineups and first pitch for today's game when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Last Monday, but also Kids Opening Day yesterday, and the same holds true for the home opener for the New York Mets, which the Phillies are the participants in this afternoon. They are finishing up the ceremonies prior to the start of this ball game. Both teams have been introduced. That is the family of Wei-Jan Liu and Rafael Ramos, 2 New York City police officers who were killed in the line of duty on the 20th of December. Just before Christmas, and those 2 gentlemen were honored. Their memories were honored today, and their families were given the honor of throwing out the ceremonial first pitch here this afternoon. A sold-out crowd. In fact, they're saying it's going to be a record crowd here at Citi Fields. And both teams are doing their final loosening up as we get set for the first pitch of this afternoon's ball game. The Phillies relievers are heading out to their bullpen. There they are. Luis Garcia has all the treats. Kenny Giles as well. Meanwhile, the Mets, led by Daniel Murphy and Lucas Duda and David Wright, are doing some tossing down the right field line. Now, the ceremonies, which finished just a few moments ago, here's Chase Utley being introduced. He was booed, just like every Philly was booed. Juan Samuel was booed one of the loudest, and that's probably because of the trade that sent him from the Phillies to the New York Mets, where he never really panned out. David Wright, he got a large round of applause. Probably Matt Harvey got the loudest ovation. The 3 New York City helicopters that flew overhead as one of the New York City officers finished up the national anthem. And of course, the first pitch that we just talked about, there were more than 150 officers who were out on the field holding the American flag, 150 by 350 foot American flag. And there are the 2 officers who lost their lives in December of last year, Wei-Jan Liu and Rafael Ramos. And now we're ready for some baseball on a crisp day here in Queens. Lines are still pretty thick outside, so fans will be filling in these seats as the first and second innings go on. The umpires are heading out toward home plate. It's a long walk from where they come in their locker room. They're heading out toward home plate to accept the lineup card. That's Tom Hallion's crew. He is the crew chief of this 4-man umpiring crew, and Alfonso Marquez is the other veteran in this umpiring crew here this afternoon. Time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Mets 13 wins against the Phillies last season, tied a single season record. They did it 4 other times. New York has recorded 3 straight double-digit win seasons versus the Phillies for the first time since 1987 and 1991. And Ben, we talked about it. You know, Ryan Sandberg's team has these divisional matchups over the next several weeks, so they can kind of set the tone for the 2015 season.
Exactly right. And if you want to make any kind of leadway, you're going to have to do it within your division. The problem is this division is very, very good. There's a lot of good arms in this division. I think you're going to see a lot of low-scoring ball games, but I'm anxious to see who really comes out on top, because I think it's up for grabs. You look at this ball club right here. Their pitching just can be dominant at times, much like we know the Nationals, but who's going to be able to score the runs? That's the question.
Yeah, I think the Nationals, even with their struggles to start the year, are still the most balanced team once everybody is healthy. But the youth that the Mets have in their starting rotation, and it's not even spearheaded by Jacob deGrom, who's the National League Rookie of the Year, the reigning Rookie of the Year. It's probably spearheaded by Matt Harvey. Can they score enough runs to overtake, let's say, the Washington Nationals as the season moves on?
I think that's going to be their biggest issue. To start off the season, we're going to have to wait and see if they can score some runs.
Ryan Sandberg's getting some last-minute information about the ground rules. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ben Revere leads it off in left, then Odubel Herrera. Chase Utley bats third. He's at second base, followed by Ryan Howard and Carlos Ruiz. Grady Sizemore starts at right field. He'll bat sixth. The bottom third of Ashe, Galvis, and Aaron Harang. And they will face right-hander Jacob deGrom, 26 years old. We had heard so much about Matt Harvey. We had heard so much about Zach Wheeler. We didn't hear a whole lot about Jacob deGrom until last year when he went on to win the National League Rookie of the Year. First outing this year, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 6 strikeouts. But he was incredible a season ago. Here's his Budweiser scouting report on Jacob deGrom.
93 to 98, curve, change. And like you mentioned, he was the 2014 NL Rookie of the Year. I firmly believe Kenny Giles would have won that if he had more innings.
I agree.
But deGrom can be very, very filthy. One thing the Phillies have to do is make sure that he works down, because he does get you to chase a lot with that high fastball.
All right, as the fans settle in and deGrom warms up, let's take a look at our Nissan keys to today's ball game.
The keys to the game were pretty simple. You know, there's one guy on that field that you do not want to hurt you, and that's David Wright. So it ain't right to have him beat you. And then you also keep at the ABs. The Phillies have done a very good job, especially with 2 strikes, fouling balls off, putting balls in play, and it has worked for them. They're not going to hit a lot of home runs, but they can string together some good quality at bats, might be able to score a few more runs. So they're the keys.
Well, the Phillies have hit just 2 home runs so far. They're hitting .214 as a team, which is 10th best All right, so here we go. We're ready to go. It's our final home opener. We don't have any more. We're done with this. Some years we have 3 that we get a chance to see. Not only the Phillies home opener, but sometimes Phillies play 3 games at home, and then they're the home opener for one team on a Friday and another team on a Monday.
The Red Sox just had to go through that. They had their home opener today.
Right.
So they started at our place, then went to New York to open that stadium this year, and now today in Boston.
Well, here we go. Ben Revere will start things off. There is a delay because somebody forgot to close the bullpen door. So Jake Diekman's going to take care of that. Ben Revere so far 3 for 20 on the season. 2 runs scored. And the first pitch of the day. Take it up high. We're underway. 1 ball and no strikes. Ben, I have to say it's a rather interesting alignment in the outfield against Ben Revere. It's not one that we see all that often.
Absolutely not. Their advanced scouts must think that he's really going to, hit the ball to left center, and they're going to have that. They're going to have that set up accordingly.
The other thing they're thinking that he's not going to do is pull it down the right field line. If he pulls it down the right field line, he's got a pretty good chance of getting a triple right out of the chute.
Absolutely, especially where the way that wall comes out here in right field.
3 balls and 1 strike to Revere. Ben last year 184 hits. That was tied for the top spot in the National League with Denard Span. Let's see if he gets a fastball here he can drive, and the 3-1 pitch in there for a strike. It's 3-2. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Karen Dorff of Hatboro. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Karen will win $100. Foul tip, and Revere struck out. That had some pretty good tail on it.
And we talk about late life. That's exactly what DeGrom has. He's got the ball just kind of gets to the plate, and then you can see the ball just goes sideways. And that's at 94, Tom. That's at 94.
Jacob deGrom is a former college shortstop who was converted to a pitcher late in his collegiate career. Coming off a spring in which he was 4-0 with a 2.08 earned run average. Odubel Herrera takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. All right, so 2 batters and 2 balls to start both of those batters.
Yeah, there's a fine line because he's throwing a couple balls here, but the last thing you want to do is fall behind because he does have put away stuff.
1 ball and 1 strike, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, how about this? They're playing Herrera the same way that they played Ben Revere. So again, if he gets it into the corner, he also could get 3, but he's got to do it. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Change up low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Herrera so far 214. No homers, 2 runs batted, and he's 3 for 14. Coming off a winter ball season, which he hit .372, was the MVP in Venezuela. Had an OPS of .988. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down the left field line, out of play, and it remains 2-2.
This has to be very exciting for him. First of all, you bypass AAA, which is great for him, but just coming to all these new ballparks, taking BP, doing all your pregame work, it's got to be a big thrill for him. I was anxious to see this place myself.
You'd never seen it before?
Nope.
Outside, 3-2. You obviously saw Shea Stadium. This is an upgrade to Shea Stadium.
It is big.
It's big. Just off the outside part of the plate.
It's way outside, Tom. Way outside.
Fouls another one away. So this is another good at bat for Odubel Herrera. He's had a couple of them over the last few days. In fact, Ryan Sandberg was saying yesterday that he thinks that he's getting it more and more. I mean, he got it in spring training, but there's a difference between spring training and the regular season.
I know his average at 214 is not where he or the team would like it to be, but I'm going to do some homework later and find out how many balls he's fouled off.
We'll add that one to it.
Right on cue.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you when he's fouling off?
Well, first of all, he has very good hand-eye coordination. Ichiro would do that. His hand-eye coordination is phenomenal. Very good hand-eye coordination, but also knows the strike zone. And he's just up there defending until he gets, hopefully, one that he can hit.
Well, once again, the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. Back toward the middle, a line drive, off on one hop by Wilmer Flores, and 2 outs. 2 away. Chase Utley's coming up. Murph, what about Chase Utley in this ballpark?
Well, Tom, you started off the program talking a little bit about Chase Utley and trying to get him going. 2 for 19 to start off the season with 6 strikeouts for Chase. That is very unlike Chase Utley, but if there's a place that might be able to get him going, it's right here at Citi Field. Lifetime 45 games, it's about a 287 and 9 home runs. All 9 of those home runs you see right there falling into what has been coined Utley's corner. He has kind of worn out that right field corner here at Citi Field. So, you know, if Chase is looking for something to get him going, perhaps the New York Mets and Citi Field is just the ticket, because it's odd to see him start the season the way he has. He generally starts the season very strong. He did a year ago, but it hasn't gotten that way. And what's more odd about it, guys, as you pointed out, came off a terrific spring down in Clearwater where he's really hitting the ball well. So you got to believe that Chase is just a couple of at-bats away from getting things going, so maybe it gets started here in New York.
Yeah, it is remarkable how good he was in spring training. His timing was really good. His timing hasn't been as good this first week of the season.
And it's really been with the off-speed pitches. The off-speed pitches, the change-ups, especially the breaking balls, they have given him fits and had some ugly swings.
2-0 pitch is lifted out toward left center field, and Michael Kadire is there. And the inning is over. So they made him work. He threw 18 pitches, but he worked a 1-2-3 top of the first. On to the bottom of the first, the Phillies nothing, and the Mets coming up for the first time. The Phils, let's take a look at his starting lineup for today. Brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off in right field, Curtis Granderson. David Wright bats second. Lucas Duda will hit third, followed by Michael Kadire and Daniel Murphy. Travis d'Arnaud is the catcher. He'll bat sixth. Juan Lagares, the center fielder, hits seventh. Wilmer Flores bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching. And he's a decent hitting pitcher is Jacob deGrom, and they'll face Phillies right-hander Aaron Harang, who's coming off a solid outing his first time out. 6 1/3 strong innings for the Phillies.
He threw very, very well against the Red Sox in his first start of the season, and they're going to need some innings out of him. The bullpen has been worked. The bullpen has been phenomenal, but they're going to have to get some innings out of him. Here you see the Budweiser scouting report, 90-94 with his heater, slider, change, curve, and a cutter. And career versus the Mets, 6-5 with a 4.28 ERA.
First pitch to Granderson is taken inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Granderson hitting just .063 so far, but he has 7 walks, which is why his on-base percentage is at .348. Shows bunt, takes low, 2-0. It's kind of odd. The Mets had Juan Lagares leading off for most of spring training, and then when opening day came around, they put Curtis Granderson in the leadoff spot. A high ball to right field. Grady Sizemore has plenty of room in front of that well. One out. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. David Wright is now the batter in a much different spot in the order than what everybody's used to. He's batting second. So far, a home run and 4 runs batted in. Has good numbers against Harang, hitting over 400 against him. Checks the swing of the first pitch. It's 1-0. Ben, why are more teams putting what they would consider their best hitters in the 2 spot now? Anthony Rizzo is in the 2 spot for the Cubs. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are adjusting and doing this.
Yeah, you know, early on in ball games, you're going to see a lot of fastballs. First inning, usually the runs come later in the ball game, and you're going to get a lot more fastballs early on.
2 balls, no strikes to right. Fouls it away. It's 2-1.
He said David has very good numbers against Aaron.
Got 4 doubles. He's got him in his book as far as home runs go. Three balls and 1 strike. It's not odd to see that with David Wright. Several years ago, he was hit in the head with a pitch, and it affected him, particularly on the outside part of the plate. Flinched a little bit there. That pitch is high, ball 4, so a 1-out walk. And that'll bring Lucas Duda to the plate. Speaking of Duda, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. And it features Lucas Duda. Lucas Duda had a solid year last year, and you take a look at what he's done these last 2 seasons. 30 home runs last year, 15 the year before, 92 runs batted. You want to talk about figuring something out? He has certainly changed the way people perceive him.
As the Phillies get into their shift, 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond.
Yeah, Cody Ashe's moved from third base over to the right side. Galvis stays on the left side. Breaking ball, low, 1 ball, no strikes. Who'd have thought about? Looked like he thought about bunting over to the third base side.
Why not? If they're going to give it to you. You see, I don't have a problem with this early on in the ball game. Later on in the ball game, you need a run. I want you up there hacking. It's just funny to me if he does happen to hit a scorcher to Cody Ashe, and they turn a double play, so it would be 5-6-3 would be the double
It
play.
would look much different in your book than
it
what you're
would
used
look
to
way
seeing.
different. It would look way different.
Well, the other thing too, if it goes to Galvis, it'll be 6-5-3.
Correct. I'd like to see Cody turn it though. He'd have fun doing that, I'm sure.
Two balls, no strikes to Duda. Fly ball left field, playable for Ben Revere. And he makes the catch. Wright's thinking about going. Revere's throw to second base is not in time. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It was almost in time. It's just that Wright slid away from Chase Utley's tag.
It was just on the other side of the bag. Another excellent throw there by Ben Revere. Give him credit for not getting caught off guard. Chooch did that in the ballgame the other day. He tagged up from first base. But Ben Revere here gets his momentum going back towards the bag.
Obviously, David Wright and the Mets have not changed their scouting report on Ben Revere as he had requested. Here's Michael Kadire, signed in the offseason to a free agent contract from the Colorado Rockies organization, originally a member of the Minnesota Twins. He won the National League batting title in 2013. Limited to just 49 games last year, but still hit over 300. ball and 1 strike to Goddard.
Just been a guy that's always hit. He could probably play when he's 55 years old and still go out there and get a knock.
6 years of 150 hits or more for Goddard.
Amazing. Nothing flashy.
Chopper over the head of Tim Tuffle. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We have a little more time later on in the game. I'll tell you a great story about Michael Goddard when he was with the Twins.
You're going to leave us hanging?
There's 2 outs.
All right, we'll wait
1 and 2
later
count. After you swing this curveball right here.
Chopper softly to shortstop. Good thinking on your part, Ben. Freddie Galvis throws him outside, is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left in scoring position. We've played 1 on to the 2nd. Ryan Howard. We'll be back when we come back. Stop news weekdays at 4 p.m. NBC 10. Count on it. Hello, Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. We go to the top of the 2nd inning. Her 31st straight opening day. That's dedication. Wow. Of course, today is the home opener for the Mets. They were on the road. They played the Nationals and the Braves to start the season. And like the Phillies, both teams 3-3 coming in. Ryan Howard will lead it off. And Howard swings and hits a 1-hopper into the shift. Daniel Murphy in shallow right field throws him out, 1 away. Ryan yesterday, 5 strikeouts. He left 8 men on base. I should say 4 strikeouts. He left 8 men on base.
We were getting on the buses to come up here, and I said hello to him, and he just kind of shook his head like one of those days.
One of those days.
Hit that ball hard. Nice to see there.
Carlos Ruiz takes a strike on the inside corner. Carlos 385 so far. He's 5 for 13. Off speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's gotten the first 4 batters out, but he certainly has had to work to do it. The only easy one was Ryan Howard on the one hopper into the shifts. But 3-2, it's the third 3-ball count already for DeGrom.
Well, I'm sure he's amped up. Got a packed house, opening day.
Coming off Rookie of the Year award. That one's in the air to right field. It's not deep, playable for Granderson. And he puts it away for the second out. 2 away here in the second. And here's Grady Sizemore. Time now for our Geico quote of the day, and it comes from Jacob DeGrom on his goals. I think everybody has goals, and you got to set the bar high. So I think every pitcher wants to go out there and be in the running to win a Cy Young and go out there for the team, win a World Series, stuff like that. Those are all part of my goals.
Well, it's easy for him to say, and rightfully so. He should say that when you have his stuff. Some guys can't say it. Some guys just don't have the stuff. But he does.
Grady Sizemore takes outside. We mentioned that he was a converted shortstop. He played shortstop in college. He hit .263. And from all scouting reports, they say that he was an excellent defender. He can catch and throw. Fly ball to left field. Michael Kadire is under it. So 2 fly ball outs and a ground out. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the second. We played 1.5 on to the bottom of the second inning here at Citi Field. Phillies and the Mets are scoreless. The passing of Stan Hochman. It comes the same week that HK passed away 6 years ago today. It's hard to believe that Harry has been gone for 6 years. That was one of the great moments right there when he called the final out of the 2008 World Championship. He was so excited about that. And he is always in our thoughts, always in our memories, of course. And there's always something that reminds us of Harry Kalas wherever we are. Whether it be at Citizens Bank Park with a beautiful statue that's out in left field, or even in our office where there's different pictures of him up in different spots around the ballpark. But it is hard to believe that it's been 6 years since he left us.
Time flies. It really does.
Daniel Murphy leads it off. Count is no balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball lifted toward left center, not deep. Playable for Herrera. And he makes the catch and 1 away. Everybody knows we were down in Washington, D.C. preparing for their home opener. Harry was at the ballpark. We all went together that day on the bus, which is not always the case. You know, a lot of times there are other things that have to be done, so some of us have to go earlier than others. We were all on the bus together that day. We went to the clubhouse, got the lineup together. He said goodbye and walked upstairs. He said, guys, if there's anything that changes, just let us know. And he went up to the press box or went to the broadcast booth in Washington. And it wasn't more than 10-15 minutes later that we received word that he was in trouble and eventually passed away before the start of that game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Travis d'Arnaud. heartbreaking day and a very emotional week that followed with just unbelievable support from the Philly fan base. Fly ball to shallow center. Herrera got a late start. Doesn't matter though. Utley's there. And there are 2 outs here in the second.
A lot of balls in the air, Tom.
A lot of balls in the air.
A lot of balls. That's the 7th ball. There were 6 flyouts, and then that was a pop up to Chase there. Out of the 2 teams combined.
Well, we said it's a beautiful day weather-wise. The wind is whipping a little bit, 10 miles per hour out of the south. Here's Juan Lagares, who had a great spring and hasn't carried over to the regular season. The first pitch must have been a little low.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, usually Tom Hallion's got a pretty liberal strike zone. Not on that pitch. Now toward left field. Revere on the run. He'll get there. And he makes the catch right on the track. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the third, and we'll do so getting a chance to hear Harry call Jim Thome's 400th home run.
Could it be? Could it be? It is out of here! Number 400 for Jim Thome. Phillies have tied the game of the first, and take a bow, big man.
Folks at Citizens Bank, a Fanatic Baseball socks given out to all fans 14 and under. That's a look at the socks right there. We've got a chance to see them. It's an outstanding giveaway. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. There'll be a lot of surprises that day. There always are. There'll be some fresh new surprises for the fans to see. Cody Ashe begins the third by taking a strike off the glove of d'Arnaud.
Tell you, those socks with all the colors on them,
yeah,
right up Greg Murphy's alley.
Greg is wearing some pretty colorful socks here this afternoon.
Every day.
On the outside corner, 0-2. Yeah, it's become his thing over the last year or so.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Murphy's also very excited about the new pair of kicks he got. It's very comfortable.
The Tommy Hilfigers.
All the miles he puts on it every night at the ball game.
Swing and a miss. Ashe is struck out. Second strikeout for DeGrom. All right, Sox, what do you got for us? Let's see them. Let's see the socks. Let's see the shoes, and let's hear your report.
I don't know if you can see my socks and shoes from here, guys. I'll show you them later on. But we've made our way, my socks and my shoes, out to the right field area, and we're talking about the new dimensions here at Citi Field. For the second time since this park has debuted, the Mets have moved the fences in, this time in right and right center field. At one point, the right center field at the deepest part was 415. They then moved it into 390. Now they have it in at 380 at the deepest part. Moved in 5 to 11 feet all throughout the right and right field center. They expect if you put last year's results, they would have 17 more home runs this year than they had a year ago if the guys did the same exact thing. So that's what they're hoping to get a little more power here in Citi Field and a little more run support as well for their pitchers, guys.
Murph, when folks were informed that the fences had been moved in, the phrase that we heard more often than not this morning was, again?
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, just since 2009, they've had to do it twice. But they did most of their renovations in left field the last time. They added that party deck out there in left field. This time they moved it in right field. They think, guys like Lucas Duda and Curtis Granderson, they think they could benefit the most in the current lineup from the way the fences are now configured here in right field. So it'll be interesting to watch and see if that's actually the case.
It is still a big ballpark.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a big ballpark. I guess I shouldn't say big. I guess fair to a certain extent. That is the deck.
I don't think it's fair at all.
You don't think it's fair?
It's huge. It really is.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Slap toward the hole and diving stop Flores. He'll have no chance to get Galvis. And that is the first hit of the day for the Phils.
And I am liking what Freddie's doing at the plate right now. I really am. He's staying short. He's direct to the ball. He's just not trying to do a whole lot. And we've seen him lay off some pitches down in the dirt that we've seen him go after in years past. And he's laying off of them.
All right, so he's doing a lot of that where he's slapping it toward the hole as Harang takes a strike.
But that's slapping. I mean, he hit that ball hard.
Yeah, but he'll be able to turn.
Absolutely.
On pitches too, right?
Absolutely. We saw him go deep in spring training a few times. He still has some juice.
There's a bunt up the first base line, and DeGrom will throw Harang out. Sacrifice is successful. And with 2 outs, back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. All right, here are the complete dimensions at Citi Field. Ballpark opened in 2009. Capacity is just under 42,000. 408 to straightaway center. And 335 down the left field line, 330 down the right field line. Now think about it. It's 370 to left center field, but it was much deeper the first year. And there you see the changes this year. They've moved it in, and the bullpen guys now can come up a little bit and watch the game a little clearer. As Revere takes outside, 1-0.
I think it's still deeper than that.
You're not buying it.
I'm not buying it. It kind of looks like Coors Field. Look, the grass. Just look at the grass in the outfield. It's huge. You go to Coors Field, it seems like the fair lines go just
direct. Very true.
It's amazing.
Same pitch, this time called a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
So we talked about the fly balls early on today. This is not the place to hit fly balls.
Fly balls go to die. See if the Phillies can capitalize. DeGrom, although he's allowed only an infield hit, he is somewhat erratic today with his commands. Not so much in the second inning, but in the first and even a little bit here. That'll be out of play. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Revere.
And that's such a key pitch for him, being able to throw that changeup behind in the count like he just did. Because big league hitters, if you get in the right count and you fall into a pattern where you're just coming with your heater every time, big league hitters are going to turn that around at some point. But he mixed in the changeup right there on the 2-1 count. Now it's 2-2. Call this the action pitch. You want to make it happen here. You don't want to run a full count.
Well, he does work a full count. It's 3-2, a fastball that ran high. So 4 full counts so far for Jacob DeGrom. Odubel Herrera waits on deck. That one's pulled out toward right field. Granderson got a late start, but he's able to track it down. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. An infield single by Galvis. And 1 man left. Will move to the bottom of the 3rd in a scoreless game. On to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Here's the question: who are the 3 Mets that hold the franchise record with 11 opening day starts? Not pitchers, but players with 11 opening day starts. Could be players or pitchers. It could be the entire group. And so will be revealed a little later on.
Starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tough one though, because you need to give us all 3.
Okay. That was always a good number that HK would say. 11. Always a good number.
There's Wilmer Flores to lead it off. Flores has been defensively challenged so far at shortstop. Seems like that's going around a little bit in the National League East, except for Andrelton Simmons. Swing and a miss with a curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think that'll change. You and I were talking about this surface out here. It's beautiful. And the Mets were out here taking grounders today. The ball really stays down nicely.
Well, everybody thought Ruben Tejada, who you just saw, was going to be the Mets' everyday shortstop for a long time, but he's just erratic, they feel like, in his behavior to a certain extent, but also in the way he plays. So Terry Collins and Sandy Alderson, their general manager, they were looking for somebody else, and Flores was converted to the shortstop position. And they seem like they're all in, at least at this point, with Wilmer Flores. Two and two. Shallow right field. I shouldn't say shallow. That ball was driven pretty good. Sizemore is out there, and he makes the catch. What a way. Phillies baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. Beautiful day here in New York. Jacob deGrom is the batter, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
He's got some locks, huh, Tom?
I don't know if they're real. 0-2. They're extensions. They're hair extensions, Ben. Aren't they?
I don't think so.
Chopper foul, remains 0-2. This story about deGrom becoming a pitcher is a pretty interesting one. You know, he was a shortstop, as we mentioned. It was at Stetson University. And during his junior year, they wanted him to be the closer. He really didn't want to be a pitcher. He wanted to hit. In fact, the summer before his junior year, the folks at Stetson put him in a collegiate summer league that was managed by Davey Johnson. And he got there, and Johnson, he said, should I go out to shortstop and field some grounders? He goes, no, son, you're going to be a pitcher. He goes, I don't want to be a pitcher. I want to be a hitter. And Johnson said, all right, we can be a hitter. They decided not to push him and let him play shortstop, but then he went back for his junior year as he grounds out to Howard. And he was tabbed the closer for Stetson, which he didn't really want to do that either. Until his first outing when a Mets scout saw him, and he was throwing in the mid-90s in his first outing, and then it sort of mushroomed from there.
Well, if you're hitting 260 in college,
it's not going to dictate success on the next level.
I think it's going to do it.
Well, it all seemed to work out for him.
Absolutely.
And he gets to hit.
Yeah. Wasn't a bad at bat right there. He just put together.
Granderson flied out to right his first time, and it's 1-0.
Grandy man. A great human being he is. Great guy. Does a lot for charities.
They got a mural of Curtis Granderson here at the ballpark. Is still trying to establish that strike zone this afternoon. He's the crew chief behind the plate. A couple pitches that look like they were in the same spot. There's his crew with him. 3-2. The veteran Alfonso Marquez is at first. Dan Bellino is at second, and Bruce Dreckman is around at third.
Saw Fonzie last night in the hotel. He and I always got along really well.
Ball 4, 8th walk of the year for Granderson. But you know why you got along well with him? It's because you're 8 feet taller than him. He was afraid of you. Jackie Robinson salute at the ballpark is coming up on Tuesday, April 21st. It's a 7:05 first pitch against the Miami Marlins. All fans will receive the Jackie Robinson commemorative pin. Somewhat of an iconic look that we've seen through the years. It's also a Hatfield Philly Frank Dollar Dog night. Granderson has swiped a bag so far this year. In fact, the Mets are 3 for 3 as a team, so Ruiz might be on his toes. We'll see what happens here. David Wright at the plate. And Wright pops the first pitch foul to our right and out of play, and it's 0-1. Over to third, a base hit past Cody Ashley. That'll put runners on first and second with 2 men down. And Lucas Duda is walking to the plate.
Now, Murph was talking about the dimensions and moving that right field in. It goes to show you the kind of pop that Duda has. He still hit 30 last year. You know, obviously you're playing half of your games here, so that shows that he does have the juice to do it. And moving those fences is only going to help him. It's about as deep as you'll see a second baseman play without the shift. You can take a look there at Chase, and he is way out there. Now you really want to, especially with 2 outs, keep that ball in front of you. Knock it down, do whatever you have to do, because if it does get to the outfield, Granderson's going to score. So knock it down at all costs.
Yeah, and force him to play station to station baseball.
Exactly.
You have to deal with Michael Kadire. That's in there. 0-2. 83 miles an hour. It was up. Boy, Harang really is a strike thrower.
He sure is.
No balls and 2 strikes. He tried to raise the eye level. And it's 1-2. All right, so you were calling for that pitch.
I was.
Now what would you call with the count 1-2?
I'd go heater in or that cutter in.
But nothing out over the plate. No breaking pitch or anything out over the plate.
You know, he's probably looking for something soft here. If he climbed the ladder, a lot of guys like to come back with a breaking ball. I'd throw that cutter or four-seamer in.
There they go. They went in, yep.
It's a great pitch. It's a great pitch right there.
Interesting how Ruiz was creeping back there.
Well, you don't want
to the outside, creeping to the inside.
You don't want to get too far in there before the pitch is thrown. Maybe Granderson can tip him off. Hey, you know, the guys have signs all over the place. So you want to move late with a runner on second.
1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch in the dirt, 2-2. He almost got him on that too. And now Ruiz out to talk to Aaron Harang. He's done this one other time. It was early on.
May have been a cross up. May have been. Got Chooch laughing today. We saw the pitchers and catchers coming out of the meeting, and I looked at him. I go, hard in, soft away. He goes, yep, Bobby.
They have those meetings before every series with the entire pitching staff. 2-2 pitch. And the dirt again, 3-2. So the runners will be off. Really got to be careful here with Lucas Duda. Granderson off second, right off first.
See what the 2-out walks do, Tom?
2-out walk to Curtis Granderson. Got this thing rolling. Let's see if Aaron Harang can slow it down.
Make a pitch right here.
This is the pitch total for the inning, 24. 46 overall. He's in pretty good shape coming into this inning. Runners go on this 3-2 pitch. And he fouls it away. Runners go again. Pitch is lined out toward left field. Ben Revere is there, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. So Harang works out of a jam, a 2-out jam here in the third. He leaves a couple. We played our first 3 here at Citi Field, each team with a hit. Herrera will lead it off. 70 pages per minute. Get yours today for up to 50% off. From who? But W.B. Mason. Home opener here in New York for the Mets as they are battling the rivalry with the Phillies. One hit apiece as we go to the top of the fourth inning. Odubel Herrera will lead it off. Herrera had a 9-pitch at bat in the first inning, and Ben, his average pitches seen per at bat is now increasing. 4.74 pitches per plate appearance.
Up there.
Yeah, I mean that's into what Jason Worth used to do when he was with the Phils. I'm not saying he's Jason Worth, but into that same level. And he bunts up the third base line. It's not a bad idea, and it's 0-1.
He had the swinging bunt later in the ball game yesterday, and as soon as he hit it, I just watched him run. He really can motor.
Well, I think that's the part of the game that we still haven't seen. We did on his double, his game-winning double, because he was running all over the place away from Papelbon. But we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him run the bases, steal some bags yet, and that's what he was doing in spring training. Oh, and 2.
Just working with Mike Schmidt yesterday, you could see that he really likes him. He really does.
Well, I think for you and I, and for Murph, and for Matt, we watched him during spring training. We liked him a lot. But when you hear Schmidt affirm it,
yes,
give it affirmation, you're like, oh, okay, then our eyes are not deceiving us.
Correct.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And I was looking at some of his numbers today, particularly his winter ball numbers. I was shocked. He had a 988 OPS. That's a little guy.
Man. Another foul ball.
Back toward the middle, off the glove of DeGrom. That's going to be a base hit for Herrera. What's he going to do? He's going to hold up there. So it's the second hit of the day for the Phillies.
It's kind of indecision there running down the first base line. He didn't know whether to run through the bag, and then he saw it get in the outfield. Then he had to make his turn. So he was kind of all over the place down the baseline there. Ball really skidded off there, off the dirt.
Yeah, I don't know if Daniel Murphy was going to get him, even if DeGrom didn't hit that. If he had let it go, he may have fielded it, but I don't know if he would have gotten him at first base. Well, let's see if they put him in motion. A leadoff single. Travis d'Arnaud, who's a former Phillies prospect, who's behind the plate. His pop time, which I'm sure you heard for your entire life, Ben, is pretty good.
I'm sure Odubel, after they take the first round, they'll go out, run the bases. I'm sure he took a lead like he would, being in a new stadium, new infield. Some guys go to that cutout, some guys go extend it past that, but I'm sure he got out there and kind of judge of where he needs to be.
0-1 to Chase Utley. I know you want to keep that hole open on the right side for the left-handed hitters as much as possible, but I would love to see him take off at some point in this at bat. Get in scoring position, put a little pressure on DeGrom. That was hit sharply on one hop. Murphy to second for walk, over to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. Lucas Duda forgot the outs. He was heading off the field. That was hit on the nose by Chase Utley.
Ball was hit hard. DeGrom wants that ball in or away. And ball crept back across the plate. Chase does hit it hard. Good turn there. Complete that double play.
Ryan Howard grounded out his first time up. Fastball in there, 0-1. Two.
I know it's impossible to make a ball rise, but that's pretty close to it. Ball looked like it was going up.
Same spot almost. That one was a little higher, but 2-2. Howard grounds it off the bag, off the hand of Duda into right field. And Ryan's going to hold up at first base. So that'll go down as the second hit of the inning and the third overall for the Phils.
It's a thing of beauty. Bring a smile to Ryan's face there.
I don't think Duda is pleased with himself that he tried to barehand that, because I think he's feeling it right now.
You catch a ball off the
I was going to say, you know how that feels. You get a foul ball behind the plate, and you try to hide it, particularly if a guy's on base, because you don't want them to think, well, he can't grip the baseball.
Exactly.
Ruiz takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Meanwhile, the heartbeat in that finger is pounding.
Developed its own heartbeat.
Yeah. Fly ball down the right field line. Not a lot of room out there, and that's going to find the seats out of play. And Ruiz has got some extra life, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser, it's still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Well, it is filling up. They said they were expecting a record crowd, standing room only here at Citi Field. They could stand up above the porch in right and out in center field. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ruiz.
There's scoreboards all over this place.
Yeah.
I just noticed the ones up in the top left.
Oh, you hadn't seen the
I
out of town
hadn't seen
scoreboard?
those out of town.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
We're kind of shielded because of the upper level is over us. Carlos hits it out towards center. Lagares floats back, makes the catch. Vast real estate out there in center field. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left for the Phillies as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Fran Lynn does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season.
Well, this is the tweet coming out from Harry's son Todd today. He said 6 years ago we lost a Hall of Fame human being who happened to be a pretty good announcer. Todd is now announcing for the Tampa Bay Rays, as everybody knows. That was such a great scene when Harry and Wheels were calling the final out of the 2008 World Championship. I was pinned up against the wall and watching the whole thing unfold, and just the smile on Harry's face, you can see it. The excitement of getting a chance to call a World Championship, which he hadn't been able to do live, was just incredible.
Now, I would have to say that's every play-by-play guy's dream.
You want to call the final out for your team in the, in a World Series championship.
And he got to do it at home, which is great.
No balls, 2 strikes to Kadire. He tried to check his swing, but he went around. And the throw by Ruiz will finish off the strikeout.
Much needed after last inning, where he threw a boatload of pitches.
Strikeout for Harang was his first. Not a strikeout pitcher per se, but he did strike out 8 against the Red Sox. I say he's not a strikeout pitcher. Honestly, I mean that.
Right.
Back early on in his career, he was a strikeout pitcher. He led the National League in strikeouts. Had over 200 in 2 different seasons with the Cincinnati Reds. Won 16 games twice with the Reds. And if you didn't know where he was from, just getting to know his personality, you wouldn't be shocked to hear he's from San Diego, California. Just so laid back.
He is.
1-1 pitch to Murphy. That got a piece of the bat. It's 1-2.
He is laid back, and that is a laid back city. We had our meetings with Ryan Sandberg and Ruben Morrow in spring training. They said they're trying to bring in character guys. They said Aaron Harang was one of those guys. Jeff Francoeur is one of those guys. That just makes the clubhouse a different place. I'm not saying guys that were here in years past didn't have character, but character is something you can build around.
Well, and there's a transition period, obviously, that's going on with the Phillies. And while they have this transitional period, they want to make sure that the clubhouse is filled with some positive people.
When you look at Francoeur, you see him, the man always has a smile on his face.
He was funny today. 2-2 pitch. Outside 3-2.
And you don't think that's contagious? You know, no matter how you see a guy with a smile on his face, it's going to brighten your day. Kind of like you, Tom.
Come on, man. Come on. 3-2 pitch to Murphy. And he pops it up. Ruiz off with the mask. Look out, Tom Halligan. Ruiz coming over toward the screen and runs out of room.
He did almost get it, didn't he?
He didn't realize where Halligan was. He flipped it back and it went right past him.
We were just talking about that with Mike Schmidt.
Yep.
He said you have to get rid of that mask. And I said, yep, I smoked a few umpires with it.
Did you ever smoke anybody and they said something to you about it?
No. They know it's what you're trying to do. Thought that ball was going to come back. And the people that didn't hear, you discard the mask.
Sizemore's going back. It's over his head. Off the wall. Daniel Murphy has been a doubles machine the last couple of years, and that's his first double of this season.
And he is a guy that can jumpstart this offense. He's killed the Phillies in years past. If they get him going, they might see a few more runs crossing the plate. It's a great at bat.
That's not right. Beer comes flying out at Grady Sizemore.
That's so odd.
It's just not right. Travis d'Arnaud popped out to second his first time up.
My first trip to Shea, I come in for my batting practice group to hit. Little kids on top of the dugout. Kid couldn't have been any more than 12. Mr. Davis, sign an autograph for me. I said, I can't right now, bud. I'll get you after my group. Profanity.
Oh,
right away.
Really?
Oh. Choice profanity as well.
Well, I'm not saying this doesn't happen in other ballparks, but, you know, have a little bit of class.
What do you want to waste $8 for?
Well, that's the other thing. I guess he felt like he helped Murphy get the double. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Yeah, that's just not right.
Happens all the time at Wrigley Field. Remember Victorino a few years ago was out there catching a fly ball at Wrigley Field, and somebody just dumped a ton of beer on him. Inside, 2-1.
You heard the story I told when I was at the vet. Guy dumped a beer. Remember where the bullpens were?
Right.
I went out to one.
Oh, yeah,
pitcher.
yeah.
Guy leaned over and dumped the beer on me.
Did he welcome you back first?
He said, "Welcome to Philly." I looked up. I said, "I'm from here." Smelled like a brewery the rest of the night.
Two balls and 2 strikes to d'Arnaud. Phillies had Travis d'Arnaud in their system. He was part of the Roy Halladay trade. They traded him to Toronto, and then Toronto traded him here to New York in the R.A. Dickey deal. He's turned into a pretty good player, which is what the Phillies had always anticipated. Fly ball right field. No problems for Sizemore with the beer. He'll make the catch. Murphy's on his way to third, and he'll get there easily. 2 outs here in the fourth. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
I'm sure something that the Mets have stressed to their players in the fact that this is a big yard, and we saw David Wright tag up from first earlier, and we see Murphy tag up from second. So if you get some of these fly balls that are deeper, there's really no way you could get thrown out. So why not take that extra base? Why not get in the scoring position? If Aaron does happen to bounce a ball here, gets by Chooch, that's a run.
I would think, even though it's early in the year, they're going to be careful with Lagares here with Flores in the on-deck circle.
And he hit a ball to left field that Ben Revere tracked down. You and I both thought was hit really well.
So much for working around. Delivers a strike, and it's no balls in 1 strike. Yeah, there have been a couple of balls that both teams have hit that didn't go as far as I think both of us thought. 0-2. Well, that was what the meeting on the mound was about. It was, all right, what are we going to do here? We're going to be careful with Lagares. We got Flores on deck.
I think they were giving him a breather.
Oh,
I think,
do?
yeah, because he had to back up the throw to third. You know, you sprint over there. You want to make sure you get a little, get him a breath.
Now the 0-2 pitch.
Got to be better than that. 0-2 pitch. It's a good one to hit.
'68th pitch of the outing for Aaron Harang. guy spoils a bunch of pitches like this, I mean, how do you get him off kilter? Because Lagares is sizing up some pitches here.
Run one up and in. You know, I think that's one way. I mean, he's been living outside against him. I wouldn't mind seeing a front door cutter here. A pitch that he thinks is going to be in off the plate.
That it comes back.
And it comes back, catches the front part of the inside corner.
Out of play, and it remains 0-2. One foul ball after another here for Lagares.
And he's taking some aggressive hacks.
I guess that's what I mean. He seems comfortable right now.
Seems very comfortable.
Makes sense, though, that you try to throw it up and in. Just let him move his feet, get his heart moving a little bit.
I've always just been a big fan of, you know, if you do run one up and then double it up inside. I love doubling up. I think guys, especially modern day baseball, guys, they get one up and in, it doesn't bother them. They'll just go look outside for the next pitch.
Ground ball back to the mound. Knocked
Stay
down by Harang. And he scores. Something happened. The ball hit his glove, but something happened to his lower extremities. He's trying to stretch it out now. It's an RBI single for Lagares. It's 1-0 New York. I don't know if he twisted an ankle. I mean, he definitely got himself tangled up. Yeah, right there. Boy, Lagares was flying up the
He was moving. I think his nails just got stuck in that clay on the mound.
Think so?
I think so.
Ryan Sandberg comes out. Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer, is already out there.
I couldn't believe how much Scott Sheridan got booed today when they announced his name.
Everybody got booed.
It's amazing. Yeah, it looked to me like his spikes just got caught up in that hard clay on the mound and got twisted up.
Well, he's not even going to throw anything. It looks like he's ready to go. Watch it again.
And he's a big man, so trying to maneuver out there can be tough.
6'7", 260 pounds. Wilmer Flores the batter. So 1-0 New York with a runner at first and 2 men down here in the 4th inning.
It's exactly what I'm talking about, tagging up. That's a run. They just got a run because of Murphy's aggressive base running. Otherwise, that ball doesn't get through the infield, obviously. Now you have first and third. And it's still 0-0. But instead, it's 1-0.
Time is called.
I think Aaron was too pleased with that. He's not one to show a lot of emotion. We saw Scherzer really do that yesterday. Hold the ball, hold the ball.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Runner goes, pitch is taken outside. The throw to second goes into center field. It's kicked by Utley. They better get to it. Lagares can run. He's going to be held at third. Stolen base E2.
Shoots had a chance. It's a good pitch to throw on. Just threw it in the ground. But he definitely had a chance here. He makes a good throw
And
he's going to be out.
Unfortunately, Utley kicked it. He didn't do it on purpose. Obviously, he was trying to back it up. So now 1-2. And Flores fouls it back over the screen. It remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. The run is scored on an infield hit by Juan Lagares after a 1-out double by Daniel Murphy. Mets have taken the early lead.
And unfortunately, we're seeing this pitch count creep up there in a bullpen that has been worked a lot this opening week.
Yeah, Jonathan Papelbon was not available yesterday if the Phillies needed him. We were talking about that. He is available today, according to Ryan Sandberg. Bob McClure said he was a little sore yesterday. Fly ball center field. Herrera going back on it, makes the catch. And that'll do it for the 4th inning. The Mets, though, strike first. They get a run on 2 base hits. They leave 1 over at 3rd. So we'll go to the 5th. It's New York 1 and the Phils nothing. Question one more time. Who are the 3 Mets that hold the franchise record with 11 opening day starts? These are challenging, aren't they?
They sure
Baseball
are.
fan? I'll tell you one thing. One guy is starting today for the Mets.
Well, that's got to be David Wright.
David Wright is correct. That's number 1. The other guy, one of the other guys has his number up on the wall here at Citi Field.
And he also, the gentleman right in front of us, has his jersey on.
All right.
Tom
right
Seaver.
Tom Seaver is correct.
I'm going to say Bud Harrelson.
Bud Harrelson is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And along with Ben, we thank you for playing Jeep Stump the Fans. Grady Sizemore leads it off. Get a nice round of applause. You weren't booed today.
How about the way Seaver's drop that back, drop and drive, and just, man,
for a little guy. I don't mean to, he's 5'10", 5'11". He was a small pitcher.
Not a technique you would pitch young pitchers. You would teach.
You wouldn't teach the drop drive.
No.
Scraping the knee on the ground.
I mean, he did. He scraped it, and it was, but he had a heater, boy.
0-2 pitch coming to Sizemore, and Sizemore rips it on one hop, and it's picked by Duda, one away. Boy, he hit that one right on the nose.
He did scold this ball, but fortunately for Duda, he gets it on that short hop where he can kind of control how it's going to get into his glove. Well, he's a big man, isn't he?
He is a big dude. Now Cody Ashe. Ashe is struck out today. That one's off the end of the bat. A base hit into right field. Boy, Ashe has been swinging the bat well. That's his 7th hit of the season.
But he's another guy that I talked about Freddie earlier. I see him staying within himself, not trying to do too much. And the results obviously are in his favor. But his swing is tight. Hitting righties and lefties, staying back on breaking pitches.
Line drive, base hit into center field. So Galvis is aboard. Ashe's aboard. And Aaron Harang is coming up.
Do it, Freddie.
Freddie is 2 for 2.
Tell you what, Aaron had a great bunt his first at bat. Hopefully he can duplicate that. Get a big 2-out knock here and go up 2-1.
They bunt it toward the mound. DeGrom has it. Here we go again. It is remarkable all the work the team did on fundamental baseball during spring training. I mean, they did a lot of work. I mean, everybody does. But that is the 3rd missed opportunity to put 2 runners in scoring position in the last 3 games.
Well, you definitely want to try and angle your bat in such a way we can bunt that to third base, so that exact thing cannot happen. Therefore, Wright would have to field it and throw the ball across the diamond to first. But if you bunt it, don't get it on that angle, then Wright has the ability to get back to third base and make the force out. Very athletic play there by DeGrom.
That's what we saw with Fister the other night. Now Ben Revere. Revere is 0 for 2. He is struck out and flied to right. 1 ball and no strikes.
See a ball in that right center gap. A lot of grass out there, Tom.
If you put it out in the right center field gap, that may be the only way that Harang can score from first.
Give him some oxygen.
And then get Odubel Herrera to take like 40 pitches. 2 balls, no strikes to Ben Revere. Runners inch off, not being held on. And Ben a little late, a little tardy, and it's 2-1.
It's okay. 2-0 pitch. That was a good aggressive swing right there. Pitch is elevated a little bit too much. But who cares? It's a good aggressive swing, and it's 2-1. I don't agree with that pitch at all.
Calling that pitch.
Yeah. You just threw a heater right by him on a 2-0 count, and then you throw a changeup, your 3rd best pitch.
Ben last time up took the 3-1 pitch for a strike. He swings at this one. Now it's 3-2. The runners will be off with Herrera on deck. The Phillies down 1-0, looking to tie the game here in the top of the 5th inning. Phillies have 5 hits. The Mets with 3. The runners go. Pitch is hit out towards center field. Lagares going back on it. He's there. And casually makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs. 2 hits. And something you don't see too often. A very frustrated Ben Revere as we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. is a unique program that rewards small organizations that create big changes in the community. To learn about Champions in Action and how to get involved, visit citizensbank.com/community. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Good banking is good citizenship. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Aaron Harang was on the base path, so the clock does not pertain to him. The clock is winding down. It's a 4, 3, 2, 1, and now the first pitch should be thrown at that point, but because he was on the base paths, he does not have the restrictions of the clock and those speed up rules. If he was at the plate or if he was on the bases, either the catcher or the pitcher, then that clock doesn't mean anything. It's just ticking away. He'll begin the 5th with 77 pitches, facing Jacob deGrom, who grounded out his first time up.
Not a whole lot to him, is there, Tom?
Jacob deGrom?
He's got a good arm, though.
Well, for a guy that didn't pitch a whole lot, somebody taught him great mechanics.
Yeah.
Chopper right side. Utley is there. And there's one out. Back to the top of the order. It's time to bring in Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. We're going to take you back to 1983 and relive a game between the Phillies and the Mets. Some folks may remember this. It was on this date back in 1983. The Phils were trailing in the bottom of the 9th by 5 runs at Veterans Stadium. They cut the lead to 3, and then they loaded up the bases when Bo Diaz hit a grand slam to win that game. It is called the ultimate grand slam when you have 2 outs in the inning, bases loaded, and you're down by 3. And in 133 years of baseball, it's only happened twice for the Phillies. The only other time it happened back in 1970, Tony Taylor did it. So Bo Diaz and Tony Taylor with the ultimate grand slam, the only 2 guys ever to do it in Phillies history. It happened on this date back in 1983, guys.
That's a pretty remarkable thing. Bo Diaz, who sadly passed away at the age of 37. Phillies eventually traded him in '85 to the Cincinnati Reds. Got him from the Cleveland Indians as Granderson slices this one the opposite way. Ben Revere lays out and grabs that line drive off the bat of Curtis Granderson. 2 outs.
A ting of beauty.
Maybe this whole left field thing does fit him.
You saw Ben's frustrations. That is awesome.
That's a great catch.
Rally, Murph.
It only works for offense, Murph.
Oh, it can work for defense, too.
Oh, really?
Sure it can.
It's a 2-headed monster now.
Didn't you just see that?
So Ben was a little frustrated in his at-bat last half inning. I think he thought he hit that ball a little better than the final result. They said, if I'm not getting one, you're not getting one.
It's a great catch.
It's awesome.
Murph, how did it look out there in the center field?
It was pretty awesome from out here.
David Wright swings at the first pitch. Well, this is certainly going to help Aaron Harang's pitch count as long as Chase Utley can make this catch. And the side is retired. Let's go down in order. A little bit of defense by Ben Revere helps the cause. Out of the bullpen and into the crucial late innings, the relief corps has stepped in and stepped up in consistent fashion. A strong point last season has once again become a controlling factor on a nightly basis. With a few new faces and Papelbon ready to close the door, the back end of each game has belonged to the Phillies. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the bullpen is going to be utilized here this afternoon. The Phillies hope they can do something they did in the National Series, and that's score late and try to get Jacob deGrom out of this game. deGrom, his last outing went a little more than 90 pitches, so he's at 74 right now. Meanwhile, for Aaron Harang, he threw just 7 pitches in the last inning, so that's going to help his cause. And now he's hoping the offense can do some damage as we begin the top of the 6th inning. Odubel Herrera lead it off. He's 1 for 2. And he whacks the first pitch foul. It's 0-1. So, Ben, what do you think of the ballpark? It's your first time here at Citi Field. What struck you immediately when you came out?
The playing surface. Right away. And also the length from home plate back to the dugout. We're out there earlier. And I said, Tom, you want to know how good a hitter I am? And you're like, how good a hitter were you? I said, well, the only thing I'm thinking about is how long it would take to get from here all the way to there after striking out. Pretty positive way to think, isn't it?
Well, we marked it off.
Yes.
And it's approximately 70 of my feet.
70 paces?
70 paces. I have my foot's a 12.
Okay.
So it's foot. So it's about 70.
Not the way to go into a series. I'm thinking,
it's a
man,
long walk.
It's really far. I don't know if it's as far as Fenway.
Well, here we go. We weren't asking for this at all.
No.
But now Odubel Herrera will take that walk to the third base dugout. It really does look like it's a long walk.
That's tough. I'm sure the New York faithful will let him know about that at bat as well on his journey back.
Well, that's the thing. You have to take that long walk, and you are hearing all these different things.
Oh, absolutely.
Chase Utley's 0 for 2. He lined to left, and he hit into a double play. Takes low and in. 1 ball and no strikes.
It's a good positive reinforcement. You know what I mean?
I thought you were going to tell me something really profound.
Going to tell you how great I was against the Mets, or no?
One ball, 1 strike. Matt just texted. He said Fenway is farther. Fenway is far too.
It is far. Oakland's very far. A lot of foul territory there.
Dodger Stadium used to be far, but they've shortened that up a little bit.
That was farther from home plate to the backstop, more so than
to the
home
dugout.
plate to the dugouts.
2 balls, 1 strike to Chase Utley. Phillies have, as we mentioned, out hit the Mets 5-3. And, all 5 hits for the Phils have been singles. A lot of 3-ball counts. Ball 4, and Utley draws a walk. Get major news and weather that impacts your day without commercials for 20 minutes straight. Weekdays at 4, NBC 10. Count on it. Well, now Ryan Howard, who's had a tough couple of days. He did have a base hit his last time up. Ryan with 334 career home runs, and a boatload of those home runs have come against the New York Mets. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. out to left field. And Kadire ventures back and makes the catch. And Utley will go back to first base. 2 outs.
That's flat out home run at CVP.
Absolutely. A lot of other ballparks too. You know, this is a vast ballpark.
I know I'm complaining a lot about the dimensions, but
that's because you're a hitter.
Yeah, and, you know, the fans like to see offense as well.
Now for the pitchers, this is a tremendous home field advantage, particularly if you can keep the ball down. Carlos takes a fastball on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
There's a lot of pitchers that are considered fly ball pitchers. This would be a haven for them as well.
Popped him up, and Duda may have a play in foul territory near the Mets dugout. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. It's Chase Utley over at first. Middle of the 6th. The Mets still hanging on to a 1-0 lead. Right. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota. Let's go places. Bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies have been challenged offensively here this afternoon again. Jacob deGrom, he's got a lot of fans after his Rookie of the Year award a season ago, and he's continued what was a good start in Washington. He's now got 11 straight scoreless innings for the Mets. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, Aaron Harang, who's pitched well here today. Harang's only allowed 3 hits. He'll face Lucas Duda, Michael Kadire, Daniel Murphy. 3, 4, and 5. Cannot ask for anything more from Aaron Harang in his first 2 starts. I mean, he has been right on point.
Giving the Phillies exactly what they were hoping for. It's a shame it's 1-0 because it's a play that he should have made.
Right.
That comebacker.
There's a couple pitches in this at bat that Carlos Ruiz has wanted behind the plate just by watching his body language. Kadire waits on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike to Duda. A high fly ball deep down the right field line, There was no question it was going to be out of the park. The only question was whether it would stay fair.
The ball was murdered.
It was beat up.
Strong swing there. Such a terrible feeling as a hitter to do that. Hit one foul, know you have the distance, and know it's going to hook foul.
And then you fly out to left field. Ben Revere, sunglasses on, wandering, makes the catch. 1 out. Wednesday, April 22nd, when the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins, game 2 of that 3-game series. Citizens Bank Red Goes Green Night at the ballpark, and an MLB Network reusable tote that'll be given out to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com.
We're getting back to the story on Michael Kadire.
Oh yeah, we never got to that.
Did you ever hear of a former Twins player named Harmon Killebrew?
Yeah, Charlie Manuel's favorite player.
Well, Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew, along with Michael Kadire and a few other players, were at an autograph signing, and Harmon, I guess, was the last one in the line. And these balls kept coming down, and he finally had enough and said, "Whose signature is this?" And Michael said, "Well, it's mine, Harmon." He goes, "That's the worst signature I've ever seen." And he said, "You know, put some effort into it, put some pride." And people at home, if you can do this, Google Michael Kadire autograph as he flies out to right.
Salisbury missed it in the sun. Kadire is going to get to third. Utley's throw will not be in time. A misjudged fly ball turns into a wild triple. Just lost it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I mean, he had it and then just lost it.
So the end of the story says that, you know, he said he took a lot of pride. So you Google Michael Kadire's signature now. It is perfect penmanship. You can read every letter.
A little advice from a Hall of Famer.
That's right.
Here's Daniel Murphy. The infield is in. A runner at third. It's 1-0 Mets, bottom of the 6th. And a foul ball. It's 0-1. Popped him up. What a pitch. Middle of the diamond, Ashe and Galvis gets Harang out of the way to make the catch. Oh boy. 2 outs.
That was almost very ugly.
Yeah.
Pitchers, get out of there.
Well, I think Harang saw it the whole way and didn't realize that Galvis was right there. Well, Freddie certainly didn't know that Harang was there. But it's great concentration. I mean, there's a pretty big size difference between those two fellas.
You think? Good play by Freddie. One more out to get here.
Travis d'Arnaud is 0 for 2. He's popped out and flied out. Kadire leads off third.
Not a baby.
Right around the second base bag. Galvis and Utley are there. Utley makes the call and makes the catch, and the inning is over. So the misjudged triple by Michael Kadire does not hamper the Phils. We head to the 7th inning. Little muscle memory problem there. Phillies trail at 1-0 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Freddie Galvis 2 for 2. Aaron Harang's pitched really well here today. 4 hits over 6 innings. Jacob deGrom has been good though too. He's got 11 straight scoreless innings going for the Mets. So now we go to the top of the 7th, and Sizemore will lead it off. I would think Harang's going to stay in depending on whether they get to his spot. He's due up 4th in this inning. And the Phillies are starting to get some bullpen guys moving. The ball's 1 strike.
I'm sure Grady would love to atone for his judging of that fly ball in right field last half inning.
0-2.
The ball just keeps running away. That's 93, and it just keeps moving.
Blevins to your left, Torres to your right. That one took foul, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes.
His last at bat he was 0-2 and scolded one to first base, and he got barreled that one. It was foul, but you like to see that 0-2.
Genmar Gomez starts the throw for the Phils.
I'm surprised I didn't notice this earlier, but deGrom throwing from the left side of the rubber, more towards the first base side. You don't see a lot of righties doing that. They're tend to be more towards the third base side of the rubber.
What is the advantage or disadvantage of doing it from that side?
I think it gives him a little bit more of an advantage against lefties because of the amount of run that he has on his fastball. I think he could create more of a better angle with that sinker. Goes along with one of my keys of the game. Keep up the good at bats. Keep those good ABs going.
Yeah, it's only a 1-0 game, which the Phillies have had a lot of these close games to start the season. 2-2 pitch to Sizemore. A high fly ball to center field. Lagares is under it and makes the one-headed catch for the first out. Clocking in at 70 pages per minute, the HP OfficeJet Pro X is the perfect addition to your starting lineup. And now 50% off. Get yours today from who but WB Mason. All right, Cody Ashe is 1 for 2. He singled his last time up.
He swung at the first pitch his last at bat. Figured, hey, it worked last time.
Back toward the middle, a base hit for Ashe, so he has another 2-hit game. A 1-out single. And here's Freddie Galvis.
It's funny how hitters think. And if you allow me to brag about myself for 1 second, Tom. First pitch I ever saw, you see this short swing by Cody, just no wasted motion. None at all. The first pitch I ever saw at Yankee Stadium against El Duque, I hit a home run. So the next season we go back, and Roger Clemens is on the mound. I said to myself, if it worked last year, I'll try it again. Swung at the first pitch and was able to hit a home run. So hitters, they never forget things like that.
And you just hope the pitcher forgets it. Galvis pulls it through the hole on the right side of base hit. Ashe's going to stop at second base, and the Phils have runners on first and second with 1 man down. Aaron Harang started to walk toward the plate. I think somebody called him back. Cesar Hernandez is going to grab a helmet and is going to come up as a pinch hitter for the Phillies.
I saw him walking out. I said,
why is he going to the plate?
Where's he going?
2 3-hit games for Freddie Galvis. He had the infield hit in the third, single to up the middle in the fifth, and they just poked one through the hole on the right side. Terry Collins is at the bottom step of the dugout. They're waiting for Hernandez to be introduced. And he may be going to get Jacob deGrom. deGrom's at 99 pitches, and here he comes. I think he's just waiting for Cesar to be introduced. Now the key here is they probably want Hernandez to bat right-handed. It's the same thing the Nationals wanted him to do the other night, and then he smoked the double or smoked the single into right field. Jacob deGrom was not too pleased that he saw Terry Collins coming out. And that's going to be it for the right-hander. So he's done. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. 1-0 Mets on top. Phillies are starting a little bit of a rally here in the top of the 7th. Science Festival night presented by Dow will be Saturday, April 25th when the Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves. It's a 7:05 first pitch. Interactive science exhibits will line the concourse, and young fans can do an activity at each to earn a star. Earn 5 stars and receive a Philadelphia Science Festival night water bottle presented by Dow. Go to Phillies.com/science for more information. Well, unlike the other night where the Nationals made it a point to say they wanted a left-hander to face Cesar Hernandez, Jacob deGrom is lifted from this ball game not for a lefty but for another righty, Carlos Torres. So Torres will take over and Hernandez will bat left-handed with runners on first and second. And he pulls it towards second. Murphy's got it from a knee, goes to second for one. That's all they'll get. 4-6 on the putout. Two outs, and Ben Revere will get another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. He's had 2 of them already today.
Caesar hits it relatively hard. Murphy makes a good play. Just like to see that get through there and tie this game up.
Revere is hitless in 3 at-bats. He has struck out. He's flied out to right, fly to center. High, 1-0. Carlos Torres so far this year 2 1/3, 1 strikeout. The Mets bullpen has a combined earned run average of 2.81. 1 strike to Revere. All these 3-ball counts for Ben Revere here this afternoon. He's got Ashe over at third, Hernandez at first. Phillies trying to tie this game up, get a ball into the gap. They have a chance to take the lead. And Revere takes strike 2. It's 3-2. Hernandez will be off on this pitch from first base. 4 straight 3-ball 2-strike counts for Ben Revere.
It's something you like and whack it.
Runner goes, pitches out the outside corner. A called strike 3. Torres gets Revere on strikes. The Phillies leave a couple more. They've left 7 here this afternoon. Well, it was a pitch toward the outside part of the plate that just got the outer edge, according to Tom Hallion. Ben Revere can't believe it. So it's 1-0. Mets on top. Time for the 7th inning stretch, and God bless America. And we'll turn things over to NYPD officer Micaiah Brown.
Bless America. Land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans.
celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. 1-0 Mets on top. The Phils had runners on first and third when Ben Revere was called out on this pitch.
We initially thought that ball was outside, but you can see it caught a lot of plate. The only question is whether or not it was too high.
Lagares leads it off against Genmar Gomez, and it's 0-1. I have to say, Nate, watching it from our vantage point, I really thought it was way outside. That camera, well, we were wrong. That camera showed it was right on the plate. Lagares bunts foul, and it's 0-2. Here's another look at that pitch. Well, maybe Revere must have thought it was high.
I mean, you can see that catches a lot of play.
Sure does.
He must have thought it was up.
Phillies have left 7 in the last 5 innings. 0-2 to Lagares. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Genmar Gomez so far for the Phils, a 4.50 ERA. Major League scoreboard, Tigers and the Pirates are matching up. The Pirates are shutting out the Tigers 2-0. Josh Harrison has a home run and 2 runs scored. Speaking of the Tigers, Miguel Cabrera was named the American League Player of the Week. National League Player of the Week is Adrian Gonzalez.
Why? What did he do?
He didn't really do much this week. He only hit .609 this week with 5 home runs.
3 in 1 game.
He had 4 hits that game.
He did.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a sinker. And 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Good pitch here. See a late movement down and in. These pitchers coming into these tight ball games, this is ultimately going to be Ryan Sammer's going to get a good grasp of where he can use these guys. Pretty much Diekman and Giles are going to be the 7th, 8th inning guys, but are there other guys that might be able to fill that void if those guys are, hopefully they won't be on the DL, but if they get tired or need a night off, one of these guys can fill in.
Well, I asked him today, I said, with all these close games, isn't it an advantage usually for the Phillies because of the way the bullpen is set up and the way the bullpen is thrown so far? He said, I'd like to think that we have the advantage if we're tied or if it's a close game. He said, but we've got to make sure that we don't overuse a lot of these guys. Jerry Blevins warms up in the pen. So it looks like Familia is going to be the closer today. And Blevins is going to come on and pitch the 8th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You would figure that with the 3 lefties the Phillies have coming up.
Yeah, the Mets have said, Terry Collins has said that it will depend on the matchups, whether it's Familia or Blevins that will be the closer. He's not going to name one guy. Outside, 3-1. Kirk Neuenhuis is out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Liner out toward left field. Revere will get to couple of hops. Flores will hold up at first. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, which Aaron Harang did twice today, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Kurt Neuenhuis off the bench for the Mets. Bob McClure heading out to the mound to talk to Genmar Gomez.
This is just to go over that scouting report again on Neuenhuis. Hot spots, what you can and can't do, if you're ahead or behind in the count.
Phillies bullpen is down to one left-hander. That's Jake Diekman. Cesar Jimenez was designated for assignment. We got Ken Giles with the hood on. There's DeFreitas wandering around. Who are the four players who best represent the history of the Phillies? And who are the four greatest living Major League Baseball players? Go to MLB.com Franchise 4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game, July 14th on Fox. You got four for the Phillies that you would throw out there?
It's so hard.
It's so hard without thinking back to the early days of Phillies baseball. Schmitty Carlton would be two right off the bat.
See, I would personally have to put Jimmy on there because
Absolutely.
He's my favorite Philly.
Yeah, I would think
was
so.
my favorite Philly.
One ball, no strikes. But then do you put Richie Ashburn? Do you put Robin Roberts?
That's the problem.
I would think Whitey's on it. I mean, but there's so many other guys. You got a guy at second base right now that most young fans would put on it. You got a guy at first base that most young fans would put on it.
That's why it's so
It's
hard.
hard. 2 balls, no strikes to Neuenhuis. Foul tip. It's 2-1. Now the four living players that you put on, that's hard too because you got to make sure you understand who's still around.
Yeah.
Willie Mays obviously is there. Put him on it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Toss over to first. And Flores is back without a tag. Somebody brought up Willie McCovey the other day. I mean, you don't want to dominate it with Giants. Sandy Koufax is still alive.
No one mentions Pete Rose.
I thought about Pete Rose. I think you
Most
have to
hits
put
of all time.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch. Out to center field. Herrera going back on it and will make the catch. And there are 2 outs. I mean, you think about some of the pitchers too. Nolan Ryan.
We could sit here until the game starts tomorrow night and throw names out.
Absolutely. I don't know, you know, for most people, I don't know if they would do it just based on numbers. I think they would do it based on their gut, based on their feeling. Would you agree with that? I mean, Willie Mays, I think, is a given for the living.
Yeah, but you think about baseball conversations you've had. Every baseball conversation, not every, but a lot of them start with Babe Ruth. You leave Babe Ruth off of there?
Absolutely.
And where's Hank Aaron go?
Well, it's living. So, yeah, Hank Aaron's alive.
Yeah.
You got to put him on there.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's
what reminded
impossible.
me that Hank Aaron was still alive. Here's Curtis Granderson.
Pedro Martinez.
On the inside corner, it's 0-1. Play over the Phillies dugout, and it's 0-2. Granderson is fly to right. He's lined out to left on a spectacular play by Ben Revere. And he walked back in the third. No balls, 2 strikes. Way upstairs, 1-2.
I even think spectacular is an understatement.
We were watching the replay of it in between innings. I mean,
it got better every time we watched it.
It got better every time. And he didn't misjudge it at all. He had it the whole way. Gomez trying to keep this at a 1-0 deficit. Had a play down the left field line.
Back foot this slider here. Nice, Chooch.
Seemed to be what he tried to do. It's even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Carlos very quick to get down. Not only to get down and be quick. Watch how he stays over top of this baseball. Smothers it, and then he's quick to his feet. I always had catching instructors say, see if you can exhale when you blade. The more rigid you become with your upper body, the more the ball's going to deflect or carom off your chest.
Oh man, how was that not called a strike? He didn't swing. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Man alive.
That ball was right down the chute. That ball was right down the middle.
When you talk about splitting the plate,
it wasn't high. Now that's not good. Flores will go. 3-2 pitch, up high, ball 4. What a shame. Well, it's part of the game, but you make a good pitch like that. That was not high.
No, that's not.
Boy, that was surprisingly bad.
It's exactly 8.5 inches off each corner. The plate is 17 inches wide. That was right down the middle.
Well, now he's got to regroup. He's got right up with runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
What David Wright can do with a sinker baller, his swing plane, he stays inside the baseball and can drive balls to right field to right center. With his swing plane, I wouldn't say it eliminates the sinker, but it prevents him a lot of times from getting out and around the baseball. And that's what sinker ballers want you to do, to beat that ball into the ground.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, you played the game at this level. You're a hitter right now. You're a pitcher. You're not sure what's going on with the home plate umpire. I mean, that was over the plate, but it might have been a little high.
Yeah, you know, Tim, we need that pitch right now. We have to have that pitch. You can't miss it. I'm sure Chooch had that same conversation with him.
1 ball and 1 strike to right. Fouls it back. It's 1-2. 1-2 pitch to right. Down the right field line. Sizemore will give it a look. It's going to be out of play. It remains 1-2.
And up to 94 there.
I think Larry Bowen knows that pitch to Granderson was a strike also. I think he may have had them go back and look at it. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider, and he gets out of the jam despite having to throw a few extra pitches. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. 7 in the books here at Citi Field. The Phils still have some life for them. They're down 1-0. Let's see if the offense can get something rolling when we come back. Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Opening day home opener here at Citi Field. The Mets lead the Phillies 1-0 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Mets will go back into their bullpen, and Jerry Blevins, just acquired from the Washington Nationals before the start of the season, will take over. Mets felt like they needed a left-hander to deal with the Phillies left-handers, the Braves left-handers, although they really only have Freddie Freeman at this point, and the Nationals hitters. Odubel Herrera will lead things off. Herrera takes a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Herrera today is grounded out to short. He singled in the 4th inning and struck out in the 6th inning. Wright is in on the grass at 3rd. And he fouls it back to the screen. Rafael Montero in the bullpen, a right-hander.
Mets abandon those cream-colored uniforms they wear on day games?
That's a great question. I don't know if they still have it. I mean, they have an assortment of unis.
Yeah.
It's floated out toward left center field. Carries pretty well. Lagares is there. 1 out. And Chase Utley's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook, Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, you mentioned Miguel Cabrera had a pretty good weekend, and he was named the American League Player of the Week. How about 11 for 13 against the Cleveland Indians in that 3-game series? The best for a Tiger since 1952 when Walt Drapo went 13 for 14 in back-to-back doubleheaders. Not too bad. And also the speed-up rules in Major League Baseball appear to be working after the first week of the season. 8 minutes shorter on average for a 9-inning game, down to 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 39 seconds. Just 1 week, but so far so good for the speed-up rules. Things seem to be going in the right direction for Major League Baseball, guys.
I'm not sure what number they want to get it to. You know what I mean? In 8 minutes doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I'm sure around baseball they're pretty happy with it. I'm not sure what number they want to get to.
Well, it's funny you say that, Tom, because Rob Manfred, the commissioner, was asked that in the story that was just put out by Major League Baseball, and he said they're not looking to get to any number in particular. They just want fans and the media to be talking about the game and saying, hey, they're speeding it up. It's a little crisper. It's a little cleaner. A lot of the downtime that was there is gone away. And as long as they get to that perception that the game is being played at a quicker pace, that's what they're looking for.
Utley pulls it toward first, and Dula's there. He'll take it to the bag. 2 outs. And here comes Ryan Howard. Well, aside from the Red Sox opener where they shut the Phillies out 8-0, we haven't seen a whole lot of offense, quite honestly. So from the Phillies standpoint, the games are faster because there hasn't been a whole lot of offense.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, especially in this division, there's going to be some quick games because of the pitching and the quality of it.
Ryan Howard is 1 for 3. Grounded out, singled in the 4th, flied out to left. Well, life won't get easier for the Phillies tomorrow. Matt Harvey is scheduled to make his second start of the season. The 0-2 pitch to Howard. Outside, 1-2.
I'm looking forward to watching him pitch in person.
Matt Harvey. Topped off in the high 90s in his first outing. Said he got the loudest round of applause today. See his numbers against the Phils haven't done too much against him. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Howard. Swing and a miss. Down with a slow curve. A 1-2-3 8th inning for Blevins. So he comes on to face the 3 left-handers and retires them rather easily. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in New York. fantastic play by Ben Revere earlier.
This was a ridiculous play. Gets a good jump on the ball, lays out full extension, and I mean full extension. Give him a 10 for sticking it. And that is your Hyundai defensive play of the game. Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
See, Ben Revere makes some really good plays out in center field. He's had trouble sometimes in center field, but that was as good a play as we've seen him make. So 2 really good defensive plays. The throw the other day, and that catch. And Margomez continues here in the 8th inning. The Phillies down 1-0. Lucas Duda 0 for 3. And that pitch is over. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
We got a tweet to answer your question from Mix Master B. To answer your question, the Mets did do away with the cream jersey and added a new road alternate cap.
All right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside 2-1. Mix Master B.
That's right.
2-2 pitch coming to Duda. Broke his bat. Foul ball down the left field line. It remains 2-2. Phillies and the Mets will go back at it tomorrow. Night game tomorrow. Night game on Wednesday before the Phillies train it down to D.C. 4-game series against the Nationals this weekend. Tomorrow will be on Comcast Sportsnet at 7 o'clock. Another foul ball. It remains 2-2. Phillies in their half of the 9th inning will have Ruiz, Sizemore, and Ashe. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Nationals and the Red Sox are on their way. David Ortiz has an RBI in the bottom of the 2nd inning. I should say in the bottom of the 1st inning, but it's in the bottom of the 2nd inning, 1-0. Jason Worth was scheduled to be back in the lineup today for the Nationals. He was taking some caroms off the Green Monster earlier. I was surprised to see that he was going to play left field. I just assumed that Harper would move back over to left and Jason would play right field. Harper does have a better arm.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm watching Bryce play the last couple games at CVP. I mean, he does have an excellent arm. And he played it well. You know, he played the cameras well. It makes sense for them.
3-2 pitch. That one's out to right field. Brady Sizemore had trouble earlier and is able to make the catch here. 1 out. And Michael Kadire is coming up. Credited with a triple back in the 6th inning on that 5 ball that got into the sun and Brady Sizemore couldn't corral. Fastball in there, 0-1. at the end of the back toward the middle. A base hit for Cadell. It's his second of the day. Seventh hit of the season. And Daniel Murphy's coming up. You know, the Phillies games are fun for a group, but do you know how charitable they can be? Groups of 25 or more are eligible for fundraising opportunities that benefit their designated cause. It's a great way to raise funds and awareness. Learn more at Phillies.com/group tickets. Phillies will set up to try to turn 2 with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Dustin McGowan is starting to throw in the bullpen. Drive one hopper right between Utley's legs and into right center field. Kadire will go to third. First error of the year for Chase Utley.
The ball is smoked, but I'm sure it's one that Chase would like to have back. Here it just goes right through the wickets.
Well, that's a double play ball right there, Ben.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one that Chase would want to have back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's unfortunate because now it's left the door open for the Mets to add to their 1-run lead. We talked about this yesterday, how important it is to keep a game at a 1-run deficit going into what could be your final at bat. Yesterday, the Nationals were able to score 2 in the 10th inning. The Phillies did score 1 in their half of the 10th inning.
Yeah, I think also they were going over what they're going to do if Murphy does steal. What Chooch is going to either come up, fire it to second, or eat it. You know, you don't want a double switch here, although Kadire's not the fleetest of foot at third.
Phillies play the infield halfway. Darno is 0 for 3. He's popped out twice. He's flied out once. Foot of Darno, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. I have to say, Ben, I don't know if I'm right on this, but Genmar Gomez seemed to have a better pace in spring training.
I was just going to say, he doesn't seem like he's in any type of rush to deliver the ball.
And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but he had a confidence. I mean, that's the sense that I had. He had a confidence in spring training when he was throwing that sinker.
And he's very deliberate.
Fly ball left field. Kadire's going to tag at third. Revere gets under it. Makes the catch. Kadire's coming home. The throw to the plate won't be in time. 2-0 Mets. So an unearned run for New York here in the 8th inning. Because of the error to Chase Utley.
Ben kind of caught that one a little flat-footed. You'd like to see an outfielder get behind the baseball so you have momentum going towards home plate as the ball is getting in your glove. But I don't think if he had a howitzer, he wasn't going to get up there.
I would agree with you on that.
It was deep enough.
So now they're going to walk Lagares intentionally to face Wilmer Flores. And put runners on first and second with 2 men down. McGowan, he's probably ready to go if they want to go get him. And ball 4. So Lagares is aboard. First and second. John Mayberry Jr. has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. To Major League Scoreboard, an update from Boston. Mookie Betts has hit a 3-run home run. Now the Red Sox lead the Nationals 4-0. That's coming against Jordan Zimmerman for the Nationals. Rick Porcello pitching for the Red Sox. First pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Less than 2 innings, 50 pitches for Genmar Gomez. Mentioned yesterday the Phillies had a short bullpen. Maybe the bullpen's a little short today too. 2-0 pitch. In there, it's 2-1.
Very aggressive there with 2-0 slider. Very surprised to see that. Especially after you intentionally walk a hitter to get to Flores.
Looper out towards center field. Herrera comes running in, puts it away. Side is retired, but the Mets tack on an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So now we go to the top of the 9th. A chance for the Phils. Carlos Ruiz will lead things off when we come back. In the fourth inning, Ben, after Daniel Murphy doubles, he was able to roam his way over to third base on this fly ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it really was a turning point. I mean, this would have enabled the Mets to go ahead and score this run, because that ball obviously doesn't get through, and there's no way Murphy scores from second. So that's heads-up baseball by the Mets, by Daniel Murphy, and that allowed them to plate the first run for your WB Mason delivery of the game.
So now we go to the top of the ninth inning. The Mets added an unearned run in their half of the eighth inning, and the Phillies will play from behind and try to overcome a 2-run deficit. It'll be Ruiz, Sizemore, and Ashe. Those are the scheduled hitters against Jeurys Familia, who is the closer, I guess the shared closer right now, along with Jerry Blevins. That's because Henry Mejia has been suspended for 80 games for being caught using PEDs.
Familia has 2 pitches, hard and harder.
Ashe 5 for 6, or Ashe and Galvis 5 for 6. The rest of the team just 2 hits. First pitch to Ruiz is taken low, 1-0.
You throw that hard and you start them off with a slider. You're up 2 runs. Why?
Particularly if you're out there as the closer. 2-0 pitch to Ruiz. Fastball, and it's on the outside corner. 2-1.
Am I wrong there, Tom?
No, I'm surprised. I mean, you're considered a power pitcher, which he is. And it's 96 right there, sinking. It's 3-1. Why would you put yourself in a hole? Carlos is probably going to be taking a strike, right?
You would think so. His run means nothing. We're not.
It back. No, I bet Carlos would have been taking a strike with the first pitch.
Yes. I thought he'd be taking there as well.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And ball 4. Ruiz is aboard. It brings the tying run to the plate. NBC 10 News at 4, the only station with 20 minutes of non-stop news. Weekdays at 4. NBC 10. Count on it. Get to the news after this ball game is over. Phillies down 2-0 here in the top of the ninth inning. They'll bring the tying run to the plate. Grady Sizemore. Sizemore is 0 for 3. Fouled that one off Darno, and it's 0-1. Bruce Dreckman says he didn't go. It's 1-1.
I don't think he did.
Nope. Good call. I don't think Tom Hallion's going to have friends on either team, but this game's over.
Veteran leadership comes in here. David Wright. There's some flip downs for Michael Jack. Just talking about that yesterday. David Wright still sporting them.
He's a dying breed. 2 balls, 1 strike to Sizemore. To first, and Duda's got it. There's 1 and 2. Three-6-1 double play, executed perfectly by New York. Mets have had 6 opening day shutout wins, the last 2012. Everything worked perfectly there for the Mets on that play. So Ashley's up.
Whoa. Intentional grounding, Tom? Did that hit the grass?
I think it hit the grass. It may have hit just to the just past the grass. It's pretty close. I think he got a little amped up on that. 1-0 pitch. And now 2-0.
$43,947 on their feet.
Largest regular season crowd here at Citi Field. It's the second largest crowd that they've had. The other one was the All-Star game,
in which Matt Hartley started.
Three balls, 1 strike to Ashe. Out towards center field. Lagares is out there and makes the catch. And the Mets have shut out the Phillies 2-0. And have taken game 1 of this 3-game series. Quiet day offensively for the Phillies. Mets didn't do a whole lot, but they got enough to pick up the victory here this afternoon. Our Chevrolet player of the game is the starting pitcher, Jacob deGrom, who gets the victory here this afternoon for the Mets.
He threw extremely well. Good late life on his fastball. Mixing a lot of changeups. Was able to throw that behind the count. A couple sliders or breaking pitches from time to time. Seemed like a cat here off the mound. But he did a good job. His fastball was very, very good today.
His fastball was good today. Aaron Harang did not pitch badly for the Phillies, but he'll suffer the loss this afternoon. So our Chevrolet player of the game, Jacob deGrom. The Mets are taking game 1. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this from Citi Field.